welcome to our group's current event video project. My name is Ryan Summers, and our group has chosen the Fair Oaks Farms incident from this past June as our current event. The high-protein milk brand Fairlife is commonly seen at the grocery store, distributed by the Coca-Cola Company. On June 4th, 2019, Fairlife found itself in the midst of a national controversy stirred by the Animal Recovery Mission, also known as ARM. With the work of an undercover investigator, ARM took footage of Fair Oaks Farms and published it across Facebook and Vimeo, according to Today News. Termed Operation Fair Oaks Farms, this footage is disturbing to say the least and can still be accessed through YouTube. In a statement, ARM said that employees were, quote, observed slapping, kicking, punching, pushing, throwing, and slamming calves. Calves were stabbed and beaten with steel rebars, hit in the mouth and face with hard plastic milking bottles, provided with improper nutrition, and denied medical attention. In addition, Food Navigator USA News has reported that the lawsuits against Fair Oaks Farms and the Coca-Cola Company are only mounting, as animal rights groups, retailers, and consumers are outraged by this animal brutality. Our group will link the concepts of decision-making and ethical compliance to the Fair Oaks Farms incident, definitions covered in chapters 1 and 2 of this course. Decision-making is defined as part of the planning process that involves selecting a course of action from a set of alternatives. And ethical compliance refers to the extent to which an organization and its members follow basic ethical standards of behavior. With this in mind, let us begin our discussion.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Fiber, and I'm going to talk about decision-making for the Fairlife milk brand. So decision-making is defined as a part of the planning process that involves selecting a course of action from a set of alternatives. This is a crucial part of the management process because it is needed to make effective as well as ethical decisions. The management of Fair Oaks Farm failed in their decision-making process on a number of levels. Their process in which they were hiring their employees seems to be flawed in that their employees lack the fundamental skills and knowledge to care for livestock and cattle specifically. In videos, we see that employees were separating calves from their mothers the same day that they were born, which has serious health implications on both the mother and the calf. And anyone with the proper necessary knowledge would know that this is way too early. The management of the farm seems as if they didn't even check if the people were qualified before hiring. And the poor decision-making goes beyond the employees and management of the farm itself, but to the Fairlife brand. And that the brand markets themselves with a platform of treating their animals well and caring for them with respect, and that just doesn't seem to be the case. The company should have made a conscious decision to be more involved in their livestock process, and playing dumb just won't cut it in a situation of this severity when it comes to prolonged animal abuse. And had the brand made those efforts earlier to really check in their largest livestock farm, then this all could have been avoided just with the proper decision making within management.
Hello, I am Bradley Thomas, and I will be speaking on the concept of ethical compliance and its connection with Fairlife. Ethical compliance is a way for businesses to establish a culture within their company that abides by workplace laws and minimizes the amount of lawsuits or fines. To do this, most companies provide training in ethics and develop guidelines and codes of conduct for their employees. They expect that their employees will follow these guidelines and remain ethical in their everyday routine of work. They normally establish some sort of ethics committee to ensure that the rules are being followed. However, that is not always the case. A great example of this is the recent animal abuse at Fair Oaks Farms, a Fairlife location. As stated earlier in the presentation, a video was posted of Fairlife employees hitting, stabbing, and injuring calves at one of their biggest farms. The living conditions were also horrendous. Calves were exposed to extreme temperatures, provided inadequate nutrition, and denied medical attention. This resulted in extreme pain and suffering for baby calves, in some cases, even death. Not only is this unethical, It goes against Fairlife's claims of sustainable farming and animal welfare. They claim to take great care of their cows and calves, when that simply was not the case. Their packaging contains claims that they take extraordinary care of their dairy cows. This made their practices not only unethical, but hypocritical. A terrible combination. Their failure to comply with the ethical code set out for them is causing extreme and expensive backlash. Dozens of retailers have pulled Fairlife from their shelves, and they are getting hit with multiple lawsuits for their poor treatment and conditions at their Fair Oak Farm location. If their employees listened to their code of conduct and had a little more ethical compliance, Fairlife would be in a much better situation right now, and they wouldn't be stuck in the court fighting lawsuits.
Hello, my name is Rawls Grimsley. I'll be discussing decision-making and its role in the Fairlife scandal. According to the text, decision-making can be defined as the act of choosing one alternative from among a set of alternatives. As discussed earlier in the video, Fairlife was recently put on the hot seat for a video that surfaced of cows located at one of its contracted dairy farms being abused. The video can be traced to an animal rights activist who posed as one of the dairy's employees in an undercover investigation. Elizabeth discussed earlier how poor decision-making was displayed in the decisions that led up to such abuse, such as the hiring process, monitoring employees, and much more. Not only did decision-making play a key role in those processes, but decision-making also plays a key role in how the Fairlife trial will actually play out. An article posted on the Chicago Tribune website discusses the arrest of a Fairlife employee who was recently charged in the beating of a vertebrate animal. He is being held at the Newton County Jail, which is where the dairy farm is located. 2 other suspects also remain at large. Fairlife's highest officials are making decisions to pin the animal abuse allegations on their lowest possible rank of employees, separating the connection between the brand and the mistreatment of animals. This could be described as a decision made under a state of risk, as described in the text, simply because a large risk is involved. The founder of Animal Recovery Missions, ARM, which is the organization who captured the original video, says that charging low-level workers falls short and that authorities should prosecute the owners of the farm. This leads me to question if there is perhaps some pull on Fairlife's end. Perhaps we will know the answer to that question when the investigation finally comes to a close.
Hi, my name is Justin Kashiger, and I will be further discussing the ethical compliance in regard to the Fairlife Farm animal cruelty case. As previously stated, ethical compliance refers to the extent to which an organization and its members follow basic ethical standards of behavior. Now take that definition and apply it to the situation we have. What about their actions seems to follow any sort of ethical standards of behavior? At least in my opinion, there's nothing ethical about the beating and starving of calves. Fast forward a year, and Fairlife is trying to get its act together. While under investigation this past year, the auditors verified that all of the farm's employees have committed to our zero tolerance policy on animal abuse. Violation of this policy will result in termination of any employee who has abused any one animal on any one occasion, if appropriate, and could lead to an investigation by law enforcement. Also, every employee is required to participate in documented animal welfare training. There was also an investigation of the entire farm that focuses on the well-being of the animals. Fairlife passed this body condition score, and each animal was thoroughly checked to make sure there was no harm done to them. Fairlife seems to have gotten their act together, and it seems as though they will have plenty of eyes on them in the future to make sure nothing like this happens again.
Da 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 da.